As the country approaches yet another tragic marker of the pandemic tonight, close to 200,000 Americans dead from COVID.
There is very little separating these flames from the neighborhood below.
A fourth straight week of demonstrations continue, demanding change, and now a new call.
Ordered and adjudged that the said Donald John Trump be, and he is hereby, acquitted of the charge.
Breaking news in the killing of George Floyd, who died on Memorial Day. There you see him right there, his death.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire.
Across the region, there's been a flare-up again between the U.S. and Iran.
Today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
Literally every day, we learn a little bit more about it. I mean, we have the 5 individuals.
My 2020.
My 2020.
My 2020.
My 2020.
My 2020.
My 2020 was insightful.
My 2020 was isolated.
My 2020 was different.
Long.
Normal. Weird and crazy.
Definitely hectic.
Crazy.
I've done online school one time and I hated it. So I was like, when everything switched to online school, I was a little bit scared.
My first Christmas away from my family because I was far away from them.
So when I got out of active duty for the Army, I went back home to California, and it was a big culture shock. I got home and I didn't see nobody outside.
The start of 2020, I did actually lose one of my, I call her my sister.
Throughout all of COVID, I was considered an essential worker, so I worked through all of that.
I was relieved that the presidential election went to Biden.
I'll look back on it as a lost year. I mean, I'm close to retirement. I probably would have retired, didn't bother to, because I work at home anyway, and because traveling would have been a whole lot of fun.
What affected me personally was not being able to see my mom and talking to her on the phone, and she was really depressed. She's 80 and had a real hard time and spent a lot of time alone.
I also know a lot of people who dropped out because they just couldn't do it. It wasn't for them.
It affected a lot of people a lot worse than we did. I knew no one that got COVID.
We had an election that divided our country very radically down the middle.
With my sport, we were about to go to nationals and individually, and I've been working really hard to go to nationals, and then because of COVID, it stopped everything shut down, and then all that hard work kind of seemed like it went to waste.
Well, I think because COVID affected not just us here in America, it affected the entire world.
Okay, so something in 2020 that was crazy, it was the Black Lives Matter movement. So I think that was one of the biggest part of 2020.
You can tell that the protest really bothered a lot of people, and it also brought a lot of people together.
I had a promising career for Los Angeles Police Department, but since the whole riots happened, they defunded the police, and with that being defunded, there was no training, no academy dates for the recruits, and a lot of programs that people needed, for example, like domestic abuse, sexual abuse. All those programs are all gone because of the people defunding the police.
For me, 2020 just allowed me to see stuff from, I guess, the outside in, literally. So I had to find a lot of activities to do that were outside based, whether it was going to the park or nature trails or just kind of reconnecting.
Actually having my son home for 3 months, who's 24. Never thought he'd be home again.
Yeah, I definitely got to spend time with my family more because I couldn't go to school, so I was at home a lot. So I guess we formed closer relationships.
I got myself an inflatable kayak and went kayaking, and I bought an electric bike so I could go bike riding.
Well, I got my puppy. I got it this year, yeah.
I got to spend a lot of time with family. Me and my brother worked out.
I had so many people reach out to me. It just made me feel loved, even though I was so separate from everyone. I didn't get to see friends and family for months, and I don't know, just being able to continue that communication was such a great experience because you don't do that as often as you think. And then with everything going on, I feel like we I don't know, we all got a little bit closer in a weird sense, if that makes sense.